Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Massive Iron Live, Saturday morning in Ohio, 10 a.m. Eastern. For those of you guys that don't know or forget or are tuning in for the first time, I do a live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Every Saturday morning, come here, check it out, join me. I would appreciate it. 9 times out of 10, it's gloomy as heck in Ohio when it's not summer. And I think I've had two occasions this winter, where I actually did the live video and it was reasonable weather. So post up your questions, guys. Questions on any topic, lifting, nutrition, supplementation, off topic, I don't care. Mental strength, mental health, it doesn't really matter. Way to go, YouTube. YouTube froze up already. Usually it takes about 40 minutes in to freeze up. But you guys post up any questions. If I miss your question, post it up again. If I do not get to your question for some reason, it scrolls past or whatever, you can head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman and send me a DM with your question. I'd be glad to answer it. Just a heads up, I have room for 2 new clients. I had a long-time client reach his goals, Mike. Mike actually trained down here or was down here for the seminar. I have two openings for clients. If you want to get in on this, the first month is free. Head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman. Send me a message and I will hit you up with more of the details. So how's everybody doing this morning? I have working with the Special Olympics this morning. Doing a morning, Joel. How's it going? What's going on your end of the world? I have a Special Olympics talent show today that I'm going to be helping some Special Olympics athletes take part of, and then I'm going to check out my new dog. So I'm excited about that. So I'll be on for about an hour. Again, a reminder: I do this every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. And if I miss your question, it is not on purpose. If I miss your question, just post it up again, and I'll get to it. If I miss it or you're too late to the party, you can head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman and send me a DM. Last night, Robert Shinetsky, the supplement engineer, was here. We actually did a leg day workout in this gym, and I'm pretty sore from that. But we also had a few beers and recorded a podcast, which is up. You can check out my Massive Iron group on Facebook or my Instagram or the Supplement Engineer and listen to that podcast. It's absolutely hilarious. We talk about a lot of off-topic things and had a lot of fun. So please check that out. I'm going to grab some coffee, guys. All right. Let me know who's here this morning. That's hot. Don't see too many of the regulars here this morning. Morning, John. How are you? John is an absolute freak. I was looking at John's pictures this morning, and John is doing the 10-100 program. And John, how much weight have you lost in total? Morning, William. How are you? William, where are you from? I don't recognize the name. I'm not sure if you've been on live before. And Joel, I don't even recall where you live. I've seen you on many, many times. What's going on, Bob? Bob, I don't recall Bob Hatcher. That's a new face. Where are you from, Bob? Broken Bars. How are you feeling? I'm a little bit better. I worked out 4 times this week, so I'm feeling really, just kicking my own butt. Doing a lot of volume. I did about 750 reps of resistance training this week, so I'm really kicking things into high gear. John says he's around 210 or so. John, I forgot your height, but that's pretty tall. William is from Pennsylvania. Where in Pennsylvania, William? Are you from near Pittsburgh or Philly? I spent some time in both cities. Just a reminder, guys, I'm here every Saturday morning. Post up your questions. They can be on anything: lifting, supplementation, training, off topic. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter. I did a video with Robert yesterday in here about supplements that aren't BS. Look for that on this channel on Monday. It's going to be a pretty good video. We talk about, we have some pretty good information in that. Joel Clear says he's from Western New York. You came through my neck of the woods when you went to Niagara. You stayed at Chaffee. Yeah, absolutely. I remember now. And hope that doesn't offend you. I run into so many people I can't keep in my head where they're all from. But yep, the Chaffee Lodge up in New York. We're trying to get back up there again to see my friend Mark Frank. Bob is from Chicago. Bob, I'm from Milwaukee or near Milwaukee, and always been a big Cubs fan. Not a Bears fan. Don't hold that against me, but the Brewers and the Cubs are always been my two favorite teams to watch. William is from the corner of New York and New Jersey. I was up there several years ago doing some filming work with a couple of lifters in the Brooklyn area. So I stayed in that area once. Mohammed, hello from Saudi Arabia. How's it going, Mohammed? William says you have a lot of great content. Thank you, William. I appreciate your support. It can be difficult sometimes to do this over and over again because you want to keep providing fresh information, and I do my very best to stay on top of things. Joel says, not offended at all. Thanks, Joel. I appreciate that. Bob says, my wife is from West Bend, Wisconsin. My aunt lives down there. We roll through there several times a year. Big Lee from Tennessee. I'm new to the channel. Greetings from Nashville. How's it going, Big Lee? We're trying to get some hiking in Tennessee, but it just our schedule hasn't opened up yet. Just a reminder, guys, I'll be on for about an hour. Post up your questions. Nothing is off topic. Just post it on up, and I'll try to get to it. And if I miss your question, just post it up again. James T says, have you seen the young man named Miles Taylor with cerebral palsy deadlifting 90 kilograms? Huge respect. Yeah, actually in the Massive Iron group, my Massive Iron group on Facebook, no lie, it's been posted up probably about 10 times. I've seen it come across my feed probably 100 times, to be honest with you. So absolutely, that was pretty inspiring. My team of guys, I have 6 lifters, Special Olympics lifters. One guy, Nick, deadlifted 235 by 6 last week. He's had many surgeries. And I got a guy, Nathan, who weighs like $120, who's deadlifting like 235 by 6. Just ridiculous stuff. These guys don't know limits, and they're very, very inspiring. Let's see. Broken bars. Any ideas how to stretch out a pinched nerve in the lower back? None whatsoever. I've never had any experience with that. And on this channel, I try not to speak about things I don't know because in the fitness industry, far too often, people will discuss things or attack topics that they don't know about because they want to be an expert in everything. And I have never had a pinched nerve, so I wish I could help you there, but I can't. John says Nick's a beast. Nick's an absolute beast, and I'll be with them today for their talent show. After I'm done with this, I got to be there at about 1 o'clock and help them there. William says have to run. Watch later. Thank you, William. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. And I appreciate anybody that takes time out of their morning to stop and see this ugly guy. Post up your questions, guys. I'll be here for about an hour. No questions too big or too small. Just hit me up with it. Bob Hatcher says, is there any value to fractional plates? Is there any value? There can be value. I mean, here's the thing. And I've owned them. I don't own them now. But I've owned them, and you have to look at each lift individually. Some lifts, like the bench press and the squat and the deadlift, those lifts you have a lot of room to progress or improve on. Now, there are some lifts you go down to the other end of the spectrum, like side lateral raises. Okay, side lateral raises. I think I started with 15s back in 1986. And I probably do like strict 30 to 35 now. Not a lot of room for improvement, right? So between that spectrum of squats and deadlifts and side lateral raises, there's a lot of lifts in between, so with varying degrees of wiggle room. So fractional plates can certainly be a benefit for a lot of the betweener lifts that don't have a lot of room to move. I mean, there are some lifts where when you add 5 pounds or a couple 2.5s to the bar, it just seems so much heavier. And in that case, using fractional plates might just make sense to take small baby steps. So I think if you have a home gym or if you have the money to stuff it in your gym bag, and your gym doesn't mind sneaking in a little bit of equipment like that, absolutely get them. If you're taking them into a commercial gym, you might want to engrave your name and phone number on there or something. So if somebody does jack them, or if you forget them, and you happen to see them in the gym again, you'll be able to tell if they're yours or not. But I would definitely, if you have the money, I would definitely consider getting them. Let's see. William says, off to the gym with the family. William, enjoy your family time. John Jorgensen, recommendations for hiking boots that won't break the bank. That's a very good question, John. And this will probably surprise people and maybe even think I'm a fool. But when it comes to hiking boots, I need several pair because they're always getting muddy and wet. And I have found that Walmart has a brand, and I don't have them here in front of me, but if you look on the hikers and you look for waterproof, just look for the waterproof. And I don't know, they're about $40 a pop. And it'll probably trigger some professional hikers. Like, I'm not a professional, right? I'm not. But it'll probably trigger some folks who are like, you should really get this, you should really get that. But I get the Walmart $40 ones that are waterproof. They are legit waterproof, as long as you're not burying your foot in the water. And I've had 3 pair of those for 4 years. I put some miles on those suckers. God knows I put miles on those things. And they have held up. I've never had an issue with any of them. So, and they feel comfortable. They don't bother my feet. So honestly, I stick with them and never had an issue with them. Mohammed, how can I do more pull-ups? Can't do more than 15 in one set for the past 2 years. That's a very good question. Bara says hello from Jordan. Thank you for tuning in. I believe that's my first viewer that has chimed in from Jordan. Now back to Muhammad's question. Muhammad, this is something I advocate. One of the staple things I advocate when it comes to pull-ups. You can do 15. That is pretty good. What I would suggest is doing them about 3 times a week or every other day. If you can do them every other day, maybe take Sunday off and rest and whatever. But in a 2-minute block on each day, do as many as you can. Doesn't matter, jump up there, do 10, take a break for 15 seconds, do 2 more, whatever. Just do as many as you can in a 2-minute block, anyway, anyhow, and write down the reps. Let's say you get 23. Now do that again 2 days later, and you got 24, and then 2 days later, and then you're back to 23. So over the course of the week, you did them 3 times, and let's say you had 70 reps. The following week, do the same thing, do the 2-minute block, and try to improve by 1 rep over that week, over those 3 sessions. Try to make a goal of improving your weekly total by 1 rep. And if you can do that, and you need to invest you need to do this for a long period of time. So you can do pull-ups at the end of every workout. If you do this and you can improve by the average of 1 rep a week, it'll give you 50 more reps to your pull-up total over the course of a year, or about 17 in a 2-minute block, which is a pretty aggressive progression if you think about it. So if you want to get better at a body weight exercise, you should do it frequently, and you should really monitor it scientifically. So I hope that helps some. Bara from Jordan says, thanks for giving us true facts. My pleasure, and I appreciate your support. If I can help you in any way, just let me know. Joel Clear says, would you recommend an Amrap or as many reps as possible routine for someone getting back into strength training after a year? Once you have a break-in period where you get back to the demands, the basic demands. Sorry about that. YouTube keeps disconnecting, and that's one of the problems with this platform. I'll get to your questions, so don't go away. Hang tough. Um, Joel, would you recommend as many reps as possible routine for someone getting back into strength training after a year? Have your break-in period of a month or two where you get back into the demands of lifting, you get over the soreness, all that kind of good stuff. And then, yes, I would. One thing, if your strength is weak, do something like the rep goal system where you're crushing every single set. If you have a reasonable amount of strength, just make the last set as many reps as possible. That's something I advocate for clients, and I can give you more information on that if you'd like. But absolutely, it's a good way to get back up to speed again rather quickly. You can do it for all sets, or you can just do it for the last set. Say you're doing 3 sets of squats. One thing I advocate for a lot of lifters is to do like 3 sets of 8. But on the last set, you do Amrap, as many reps as possible. Sorry, YouTube keeps crashing. It is definitely being a pain in the you know what today. So I was talking about squats, 3 sets of 8. You do 8 sets, and on the last set, you do as many reps as possible. Now, not as many reps as possible, and these are safe quality reps. If you hit 10 or 11, then you add weight. So that's one way to incorporate as many reps as possible into an exercise by only pushing that last set to the limit. So that's one way to do it as well. Bara says, any tips on appetite control while cutting? Appetite control is, or the feeling that you're hungry while you're cutting. You have to make adjustments to not just what you eat, but when you eat. I typically recommend on a cutting diet when people are trying to lose fat that they eat less during the day and save more calories at night. Because during the day, let's say we're on a 2,200 calorie diet, we tend to eat breakfast, snack, eat lunch, snack, and then for dinner, we have like 400 calories left, and we end up going to bed hungry, and we're tempted, and because we're sitting around, we don't have a lot to do, we just want to eat. So save more calories for later in the day. Eat less during the day, save more at night. You also have to look at food volume. You have to start using vegetables as food volume. You can do things like, you could take, I'm just going to give you an example of something I would do. I could get a cucumber, 2 tomatoes, let's see, what else could I throw in there? A large onion, and maybe a couple bell peppers, right? So you're looking at maybe 300 calories, and that's a lot of food. And you could add in some protein, like a container of Greek yogurt, Fage Zero, something with 0 fat, 0 carbs, all protein. And you're looking at like a 380 calorie snack, throw in red wine vinegar, salt, pepper, and you have a big bowl of food, at least a couple pounds of food that you can eat that has some protein in it. That is a snack, and a snack that'll hold you over for a while. Food volume, or the use of food volume, is something you have to take seriously as far as something to combat appetite control. And this is a perfect example of something you could eat during the day. So you have to find vegetables you love. And when I say vegetables, people think broccoli or cauliflower. Don't rule out things, and I know a tomato isn't technically a vegetable, but you know what I'm saying. Tomatoes and cucumbers, onions, and things you can snack on, like that you actually like. You have to get more of that in. When you're snacking on carrots and broccoli, it takes you time to eat that. You can't just throw down 200 calories of broccoli. It'll take you half an hour to eat that. So that's my 2 best tips: food volume and save more for later in the day. All right, guys, don't go away. I got a lot of questions. I'm going to get to them. So don't go away. Had to get some coffee in here. Michael, snowing in Rhode Island, of course. Is it ever going to stop snowing? Are protein bars okay for meal replacement in a pinch? Absolutely. What I look at is good, better, and best, okay? Or you have poor, good, better, and best. So what's the poorest thing you could eat in a pinch? Probably something all sugar or chips or cookies out of a vending machine. Poor choice in a pinch. A good choice would be something with more protein. Now, even though most protein bars have a lot of sugar, and they're kind of almost candy bar-ish. They're still a better choice than, like chips or cookies, because you got some protein, maybe some vitamins and minerals. So absolutely. Are they the best choice? No, but they're still a good choice. Now, with that said, you need to check out the Outright bar at tigerfitness.com. This is a product that MTS Nutrition has developed. It's a bar that is all natural ingredients, all natural, all real ingredients, no additives, no preservatives, no crap. And it is a bar that we ate. I ate one for breakfast this morning because I was in a pinch, and you don't have to feel guilty. So check those out. You'll love them. They taste amazing. Ultra Wump in the grocery store right now. We'll tell you Ultra Wump's in the grocery store right now, so I want each of you to tell him what you want him to get, to put in his cart. I'm going to have him get some steak and some black rice and about 6 dozen eggs. All right. AKS Slammer, thoughts on partial reps to more directly hit a muscle? No. Excuse me. You really don't need partial reps. They can be a tool, but look, it's not something any of us should really overly focus on. If you are, here's a caveat though, and these are all very complicated questions, so I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. Now, as a main way to hit a muscle, no. Partial reps are not the main way to hit a muscle. Can you use partial reps to take a set further? Absolutely. Here's what I mean. You could do curls, right? You're doing curls, you're toast. And at the end of a set, you want to use partial reps to keep the set going. So you only lower it, halfway, and you're doing just the top half of a set on bicep curls. You can absolutely use partial reps at the end of that set to prolong a set and to keep it going. You could start out a set of bench press by only doing the bottom half of the movement, partial rep, and then complete the set by doing full range. So there are ways to incorporate partial reps, but at the end of the day, you got to focus on progressive overload and full range of motion. Get strong in that, and then partial reps, whatever mechanism you use to incorporate them in, can be a tool, but just remember they are not your main tool. So I hope that helps some. Let's see. Guys, post up your questions. Any question, nutrition, supplementation, training, off topic, I don't really care. Just toss them my way. Joshua Wells says a set of 15 pull-ups isn't bad. More than most people can do. Josh is absolutely correct. 15 is pretty darn good. And if you only did 3 sets of those a week and try to improve, you'd probably be on a good path. I made a video about this earlier last week, I believe, about mistakes I made, and not taking pull-ups seriously was one of the big mistakes. Nama DeBoss, thanks for all the great content. Thank you, Nama. I appreciate that. I've been seeing trouble making results, so I just got blood work, and it turns out my test levels are only 231. Believe it or not, and I'm glad you took that step, believe it or not, one of the most common things I see when dealing with men specifically, and I see this with women as well, but individuals over 35, is that they tend to have some sort of hormonal challenges. Either estrogen's too high, testosterone's too low, or just their diet over time has fudged with their human growth hormone or insulin levels, all that kind of stuff. And when you're in the pit, when you're in the hole, when you've been abusing your body for a while, or maybe you just have bad genetics or bad luck, it can be difficult when you are hormonally challenged, when something's not working right? Because human growth hormone levels will limit your, ability to recover. Low testosterone, higher estrogen will play with you. It might make it harder to lose weight. Thyroid issues as well. So it's a good idea to get all these checked out. And, it's not something where, when men age and women age, we look at breast cancer and colon cancer and all that kind of stuff, but you need to be proactive and get all this stuff checked out, because you deserve to feel your best. And if something is low, you need to know it so you can attack it some way, somehow. Salem Radad. Hey, big, hairy, ugly dude. Thoughts on warming up before bench press? Will it unlock potential? You definitely have to warm up before bench press, but you have to do so properly, and you have to do so in a way that will not fatigue you. When I am doing, and I'll give you my example, and you can kind of apply it to yours. But when I was a couple years ago, when I was benching, I would go into 385 to 395 to 405 or whatever with a slingshot as my top set. I would do bar by 10, bar by 10. I would do 135 by 8. Sorry about that. I really don't know why YouTube keeps killing today. It's just aggravating me. So, all right. So back to warming up for the bench press. I'm going to give you guys my way, and then hopefully it'll help. So I would do bar by 10, 135 by 8, 225 by 5, 275 by 3, 315 by 1, and then I would creep up to my top set, maybe 355 by 1, then my top set of 385. A lot of warm-up sets in there. But I'm trying to warm up my central nervous system in preparation for a big lift. Now, you're like, holy crap, that's a lot of warm-up sets. It's not a lot of work, though. It's just a lot of time. But for those of you that are just, looking to build reps with 225 on the bench, I would do bar by 10, 135 by, maybe 5 to 6, 165 by 2 to 3, 185 by 1, and then go. Seems like a lot of sets, but it'll go by rather quickly. But you want to warm up not just your body temperature, because you want your body temperature to kind of warm up before you bench. You want to have a good body temperature before you start hitting those heavy sets. But you also more importantly, need to warm up your central nervous system. That will help you get the most out of your work safely. So I hope that helps some. Let's see, Nama says, I'm 18 for the record, eat pretty clean, train full body 3 times a week. Just make sure, Nama, whatever you do, that you try to set a minimum calorie goal and a minimum protein goal each day. Consistency is real important in what we're doing in health and fitness, and eating clean most of the time is good. But I always tell my guys, my male clients, try to hit at least 140 grams of protein a day. Over if you can, but at least 140. That's your bare minimum. That's your red line. And calories, you need a red line for calories so you don't go under there, because you need to recover. You need your protein. If you go a little over, who cares? If it's a birthday party or you're having a couple beers, who cares? But don't go below the red lines. Try to stay consistent with that. Don't go away, guys. I'm going to get to your question. Post up your question now, and I'll get to all of them before the end of the video. All right, let's see. We have Crossfire. All I have is 260 pounds to deadlift with, and my max is just north of 300. Is it possible or advisable to do multiple sets to compensate for a lack of weight? All right, Crossfire, here's what I would do. What I want you to do is I want you to take 260 pounds and do it for 6 to 8 sets of 3. You can maybe do 6 sets, okay? Now hear me out. I want you to do 6 sets of 3 with 260 every minute on the minute. Okay, so you load up 260 and you do 3 reps. When 60 seconds ticks off, you do another 3, 60 seconds, another 3. So you do 6 sets of 3 reps every minute on the minute. Okay, now when that feels manageable, like the last set wasn't close to failure, then you move up to 265 for 6 sets of 3 reps, okay? When that last set felt manageable, you move up to 270 for 6 sets of 3. You continue that pattern until you get to 300 for 6 sets of 3. When that feels manageable, you start to creep up in reps. So you would do 300 for 4, and then 3, and you're going to do 6 sets again. But you're going to try to get the 6 sets of 3 up to 6 sets of 10 over time with 300. And if you can get 6 sets of 10 with 300 pounds, you will have a beastly deadlift. She tried to crawl in here and distract me. How come you're so short?
I'm not.
Everybody on the internet thinks I'm like, everybody asks me my height, and I tell them I'm 5'2". I'm 4'2". I'm 5'2". Don't let them know I'm actually tall. You don't want to confuse the little internet people. How tall are you?
5'4".
She's 5'4".
Yes.
All right.
Quite normal.
Yes, normal. Don't you forget it. All right. And I hope that helped, Crossfire. Get your deadlift to 300 by 6 sets of 10 every minute on the minute. You can do that, or, look, let me backtrack here. When you're doing 6 sets of 3 and trying to get to 6 sets of 10, you won't be able to do it every minute on the minute. So at that point in time, when you're moving from 300 for 6 sets of 3, you might have to move to a more intuitive or natural break in between sets. But get it to 300 for 6 sets of 10, and you will be a beast, and you'll be beastly strong. Milos, Freaky D, the master of food volume. Yep, I posted up Freaky D on my Instagram this week. Freaky D shares the same view of food volume as I do. All you got to do is just choose the right foods, and you're good to go. You really are. Food volume, food volume, food volume. Tunde, all Tunde. How can I do 30 sets by 8 reps once a week? 30 sets by 8 reps once a week. If that's all you can do, that's a reasonable amount of volume. That's 240 reps. Yes, you can do that once a week if that's all you can do. If that's all you want to do, but you have time to do more, you should probably do at least 2 workouts a week to be a little bit more optimal. Shane Grogan. That reminds me of the old New England Patriots quarterback. I believe there was a Grogan, but I can't remember. All right, Shane Grogan bought a food steamer recently. Makes eating veggies much easier. Absolutely. Steamed broccoli is just amazing. And you can eat a lot of broccoli, a lot of cauliflower without a lot of calories. So that's something I need to get that was lacking in the big, hairy, ugly dude kitchen. Ben on Adventures for your coffee. You should keep a Yeti mug. I know. I was looking at Yeti mugs this week and showing Fiona what Yeti was because she didn't understand what it was. They're like $30. Keep your drink cold or warm virtually all day. I will. I got this guy right here. This Copco thing. It's like a tire. It's just, but this thing is like a war horse. And I've been waiting for it to die, and it just does not die. So if it ever dies, I'll get a Yeti. But for right now, because this thing has served me so well, I'm going to keep charging into battle with it and put the Yeti on the to get list. All right. Post up your questions, guys. I'm going to be here at least another 30 minutes, so post them up and stick around. I'll get to them as quickly as I can. Let's see. Adam. I used to eat Quest bars all the time, but after trying the outright bar, I'll never have them again. Absolutely. And I'm glad you tried the outright bar. I have no stake in the outright bar, but I just absolutely love them. They're all natural ingredients. They taste amazing. All natural. And whatever protein bar you're used to, we're used to just accepting the quality of a lot of existing protein bars. The outright bar is just on a whole different level. So you definitely got to try those out at Tiger Fitness. RSX 182. When doing deadlifts for reps, do you recommend touch and go or dead stop? Never touch and go. Never. The only way you can do touch and go is if you completely master form. Once you master form, then you can break the rules because you know how to stay tight. Do not do touch and go. Reset, get your hips tight. Watch the video of me deadlifting with Chris Gethin. And we're doing a contest to get to 100 reps with 315 pounds. And you will see me reset after every rep. Get tight. Get your lower back tight. If you don't, you're going to end up beating up your lower back over time, and I do not want you to do that. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, just hit me up with a DM over on Instagram, and I'd be glad to help you out. All right, guys, we're halfway through. I'm going to get to all your questions. Just a reminder, I have room for 2 clients. If you want coaching, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman. Send me a DM. First month is free. I have courses at my site, superlivingtoday.com, a bench press course, Power Muscle Burn, a great muscle building course, my Massive Iron book. And I also do workout assessments, form assessments, diet assessments, all that kind of stuff. So check that out if you need personalized help. All right, enough with the commercials. Jonah Sky, how many reps and sets should I be doing for muscle gains for mass? There are no magic. Here's what you need to know, Jonah. There's no magical combination. The magical combination is having a good exercise selection and pushing those sets in some way, somehow, so you progress, so you get stronger over time. That is really the magic. You need to have a reasonable volume of reps per workout, but you need to be progressing in that volume of reps. So let's say you have 150 to 160 reps in any given workout. Not only do you need that volume in place, but you need to be getting stronger on that volume over time. And Jonah, I recommend you check out my book, Massive Iron, at superlivingtoday.com. It'll explain everything. If you don't have the money to buy the book, then just send me a DM on Instagram and I'll explain it a little bit more after this video. Joe Rella, hey, big, hairy, ugly dude. Your thoughts on building muscle on a keto or fasting diet? I'm going to give you my thoughts, and these are just my opinions. And, at the end of the day, I'm just a human being trying to think rationally. Keto diet would be probably a little bit easier for me because, assuming we're at a calorie maintenance or above calorie maintenance level, keto diet would be easier for me because I could eat a little bit more during the day. And it would be, with keto, you can't really eat one meal, right? I mean, because it'd be hard to scarf down that amount of meat and, all that kind of good stuff in one meal. Keto would be easier for me because it's a higher fat and protein diet. A fasting diet, I've done a fasting diet for a long period of time. I did straight intermittent fasting for about 5 years or so. And I found that I actually lost some muscle size. Now, I'm a dude that has, pretty good muscle size, right? I'm not a bodybuilder. But I lost in 5 years of fasting, I lost 5 pounds of muscle. And I know because I measure my arm size, I measure my leg size, and I could kind of tell after, 25 years, I've lost a little bit of muscle. So what I did is I created something called modified fasting, where I modified a fasting diet. And basically, during the underfeeding window, I added in 500 calories, 500 to 700 calories of protein-centric foods. Now, this is no longer fasting, but when I did that, when I added that back into a fasting diet, I started to gain my muscle back. So that is my personal experience. Mileage may vary. Most of us aren't after maximum amounts of muscle, and if you're not, then a strict intermittent fasting diet is okay. If you are after maximum muscle, then you need to be aware and get scientific and do your own research. Tape your arms, tape your arms at the widest point. Tape your legs, tape your chest. Get scientific. Look for decreases in size over time. Don't just take the advice of the big, hairy, ugly dude. All right, guys, post up your questions. I'm going to get to everything. Let them roll. Let's see. Broken bar, sweet potatoes for days. I got to admit, I am not a fan of sweet potatoes. I don't know. I just never liked sweet potatoes. I've not been really a potato guy in general, but, gun to my head, I'd probably, rather just take a plain old white tater. Actually, I'd rather eat black rice or something. Cobra 359. Let me get some coffee. Cobra 359. Thoughts on German volume training? Well, I've been doing 10 by 10s myself down here. Kind of not straight German volume training, just as a way to get in some volume. I think there's conflicting information, and I'm not sure that we have a conclusion. Some of the information says that 10 by 10, we obviously know 10 by 10 is effective. A lot of people have used it. A lot of people have liked it. A lot of people have seen good results on it. There was a study on it, and I covered this in an article at tigerfitness.com, and I forget the name of the article, but you can just search German volume training, Tiger Fitness, and you'll find an article where they found that 5 by 10 was just as effective, if not more effective, than 10 by 10. Now, training has so many variables, right? A 5 by 10 will lack enough volume. What I recommend, if you're interested in German volume training, give it a try, but also keep in mind there are other ways to do it. You could do a 10 by 10 by alternating exercises while keeping the tight time frame. Like you could do 10 reps of bench press and then 20 reps of push-ups, 10 reps of bench press, 20 reps of push-ups, or whatever. Or you could do 10 reps of bench press, 10 reps of dumbbell bench press, 10 reps of bench press, 10 reps of dumbbell bench press. There's other things you can do. There's other ways to get in your volume other than just doing a straight 10 by 10 on one movement pattern. So give it a try, but understand there's other variables. There's other ways that you can get in your volume without just using one exercise, because that can be kind of boring at times. And, also understand it's about overall volume. That's the most important thing. You're going to have to get in progression as well. Give it a try for the experience. Just keep in mind that there are other options. Ben on adventures. Now that I'm getting a barbell set, I'm planning on swapping or dialing back dumbbell overhead press. Progressive tips for barbell overhead press. Great question. And for barbell overhead press, I kind of go against conventional wisdom just based on experience. My experience, the shoulders tend to lack endurance. Like, for example, when I did German volume training and I got to overhead press, I would put on 135 and I do like 3 sets of 10, and then it decreased rapidly. Like there's like 7 reps and 4 reps, and by like the 6th set, I could barely do a rep. The shoulder endurance just wasn't there. And I found that when I dialed the weight severely back to, say, 85 pounds, it was the same thing. There was no endurance. It wasn't weight driven, the lack of endurance. It was just the way the shoulders were. So I found specifically for me that when I work shoulders, I prefer to work them in the 8 to 10 rep range and try to progress in that range. And I find that it's better for my shoulder health not to do low rep sets, but to get in a volume, 8 to 10 reps per set, and try to progress in that volume. Plus, the impact of doing heavy, lower rep shoulder work, over time, I just don't think it's the best thing to do overall. So that's just my opinion. Mileage may vary. Get your volume in and progress with volume. Raphael says hello from Houston. Hi, Raphael. Hope you're having much better weather than we are, because winter just doesn't want to end here. Milo says, great idea about deadlifting. When I have limited weights, so to incorporate Zercher deadlifts instead of regular ones, but this progression scheme will get me to the next level. I would suggest, Milos, that you could do Zerchers every other week if you don't want to do conventional deadlifts every single week. So just keep that in mind as well. Let's see. Jonah Sky, can you not see my comments? I can see your comments, Jonah. I think I even mentioned your name. This is the video dropped. YouTube dropped several times today. So if I missed your comment, Jonah, post it up again. I will get to it. YouTube has been acting very funny this morning, so I apologize for that. HRO, Derbert, England, UK. How's it going, UK? I hope you're having a good Saturday. Jess, I wouldn't make it to work without my Yeti cup of life. Yeah, we'll get to the Yeti cup of life, but I don't even know what a Copco is. But it just follows me around and stalks me, so I drink from that thing. Let's see, Joshua. I put hot soup in my thermos the night before and burned my tongue on it the next day. That's pretty epic. That's when you know your thermos is doing it. Kyle Fordyce. Kyle, how's it going? Kyle, that's my favorite cigars. Maduro. Maduro. I like Maduro cigars. But honestly, I did a podcast last night with the supplement engineer, and you should check it out because it's up already. And we talk a little bit about cigars, but I have a lot of favorite cigars. I've tried so many cigars. I have a lot I like trying cigars. I like trying beers, and it's there's many cigars that I like, many. So I don't really have too many favorites. I've tried a couple Ashtons that I really like the Ashton 24-year estate grown. That was about 25 bucks a pop. I only tried that twice. It just has some good spiciness and just really good flavor. Um, I've tried a couple Davidoffs, which are absolutely. There's a cigar bar in Indianapolis called the Blend Bar, which has Davidoff exclusively. The two times I've had Davidoff with whiskey, it's been some of the best cigar experiences of my life. So, too many to list, to be honest with you, but those are just a couple that I really enjoy. STI Stajin. Can I get as big as Micro Sheet Natural? No way. He's no way, no way, no how, no way, not on planet Earth, not natural, no way. Unless you have some alien mutant genetics. Let's see. Jonas Scott, thanks for the info, brother. You're welcome. Michael, sweet potatoes are overrated. It's a whole food. Cut sweet potatoes a break, Michael. I don't know. I don't really like them, but if you like them, go ahead and eat them. But Kev Watson. Hey, big hairy ugly dude. Been following the content for a few months now and gained a stone. Nice work. Reached all my all-time heaviest, a half stone. This week lost 7 pounds. Is that a big deal long term? No. When you lose 7 pounds in a week, most of that's just water, and it'll come back. I'm not sure why you lost the weight. Maybe you just felt you were too heavy, or maybe it was just life or work. But when you lose that kind of weight in a week, honestly, it's probably a combination of dehydration and just a temporary undereating where your body's flushing out a little bit of water. So my best advice is get hydrated, get your electrolytes in, and return back to a normal eating pattern. You'll be good to go. Let's see. Kev, enjoy your content and banner, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate your support, Kevin. I appreciate everybody's support. Ollie, hello from the UK. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you, Ollie. I appreciate you tuning in. Joe Sloppy, not Sloppy Joe, but Joe Sloppy. I'm overweight, eating clean, 2,000 calories a day, 200 grams of protein, and not losing weight. Any suggestions? Joe, I have a couple clients like this, and it's not unusual. It's not as unusual as you would expect. At that point, I don't know your specifics, Joe. One thing I would do if you're not doing is make a couple of things. Make sure you're getting in a couple hours of cardio a week. Go hike, go walk, do something that doesn't suck. Get your heart rate elevated. If you're doing that, the next choice is to clean up your diet as much as possible. Because I've seen some people, and I see this happen over and over again, where I'll have somebody on a specific calorie intake level, and when we move them to away from sugar and flour and processed food, their weight starts to go down because hormonally, that something's going on with the insulin and the crap food. But you want to clean up your diet. You want to get your cardio in, and if that doesn't work after a couple weeks, then you probably maybe have to start cycling between 1,800 and 2,000 calories, or just drop down to 1,800 calories per day. But that's my best advice. I hope it helped. I have a couple coaching slots. If you need help, first month is free. Head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman if you need a kick in the pants and somebody else to help you monitor things. Bob Hatcher, do you eat all the yolks when eating eggs? Absolutely. That's where all the good nutrition is. Egg whites are good because they have protein, but they have no real micronutrient value. Egg yolks, the cholesterol thing, it's nonsense. Your body will produce more bad cholesterol than than egg yolks do not contain bad cholesterol. So don't worry about that. People worry about cholesterol in food, and then they're off eating chips and cookies and crap. So no, yeah, I eat egg yolks all the time. One of the best foods you can eat. Crossfire, for the 6x3 deadlifts, can I increase the number of sets? You could increase the number of sets. You could go to 10x3 every minute on a minute, certainly. Sometimes I do 8x3, sometimes I do 10x3. So you can absolutely do that. I'm a contract engineer and get deployed to remote areas to get up oil drilling stations. So currently 5'7", 140 pounds. I don't know how much further I can do adding weight weekly anymore. I don't think it's technically a novice. Just do what you can do and use my system, and hopefully it'll help you a little bit. Tom, sorry I'm late. Big, hairy, ugly dude. Please tell Ben about form. The barbell overhead press is completely different from the dumbbell overhead press. It's a different world. Yes, it is. And I have several form videos on this channel, and it's really hard to get into. But dumbbell press and barbell press are different lifts, and there's many different variations. Let's see. Check out my videos on this channel if he has any questions. John, hello from South Carolina. John, I lived near Lexington for about a year. How's it going in South Carolina? Currently finished an awesome upper body workout and listening to while cooking breakfast, starting my morning ride. Cheers, John. I hope you have a good Saturday, and I hope it's warmer down there in South Carolina than it is here. I got in 4 workouts this week and sore as heck, taking a day off to coach some Special Olympics powerlifting. All right, perseverance. I'm going to go back to the gym after a 5-week layoff. Do I have an estimation of how long I can regain my strength, muscle, and endurance back? What you need to do the first couple of weeks is ease back into things. Don't pressure yourself. Don't start heavy. Don't overdo it. Just get back in and lift some weights and see how your body feels. After that, you can start running quickly. And depending on how much strength you lost, if you've only had 5 weeks out, you should be back up to full speed in 2 months easily with only 5 weeks off, if not sooner. Let's be real. It says, skip my question. Sorry, let's be real. YouTube keeps crashing. It's crashed like 4 times, which is highly unusual for YouTube. But if I miss your question, post it up again. It's not on purpose. Let's be real. It says, tips for tall guys in the gym. There are some good articles by my friend Rob, who is a tall power lifter, on squats for tall guys and deadlifts for tall guys. And those are over at tigerfitness.com. I really recommend that you go check those out because tall guys are impacted the most when doing squats and deadlifts. So check out those articles, squats for tall guys, tall lifters, deadlifts for tall lifters over at Tiger Fitness. Everything else is basically the same. You don't have a different set of rules when doing curls or lunges or whatever. So those are the biggest 2 lifts you have to focus on, and maybe adjust. James says, I came across a popular Instagrammer with cerebral palsy that was deadlifting 200. All respect to him, but he looked to have an extremely worrying arch in his back. Should we be encouraging this? Yes, we should be encouraging this because this lifter is challenging himself. And, I have lifters that are working on form and they don't have perfect form. But we should always in life encourage people to challenge themselves. Along the way, they should be trying to work on their form or technique. So how they do this is up to the coach. They need a good coach, that is for sure. We all know there are many bad coaches in the lifting realm that don't even know deadlift form. And look, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying because the last thing you want to see is somebody with a medical issue being coached improperly. I completely get it. But, it's a case of good, better, best. This guy is challenging himself, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Hopefully, we have to have confidence that he will learn along the way how to improve things, or his coach will help him. I have lifters that I am working with that are completely driven to improve form and improve weight. So it's the drive that's the important thing. And hopefully along the way, the coach is servicing them properly. But I absolutely get what you're saying. It's not a black or white answer, that's for sure. Stephen Brown, I notice my grip strength is weakening. What's happening? Wear straps. Wear straps during your back work so you don't get elbow tendonitis. And then just do some grip work. I don't know what's happening, but you want to do some grip work. You got crush grip. You want to work on crush grip. You want to work on pinch grip. All right. Pinch grip can be pinch, 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 that sort of thing. You want to work on crush. You want to work on pinch. And you want to work on some sort of static hold, like a static hang or holding a barbell in a rack. So that's what I would recommend. All right, guys, post your questions up. I'll keep rolling as long as I got questions. Joe Sloppy, thanks, big hairy ugly dude. I guess I'll try that cardio stuff. I just love lifting. Joe Sloppy, do some cardio. Treat your heart well. Take care of yourself. It's good for health markers. And you know what? Cardio sucks. You know what I do? I go hike, because cardio is one of the best ways of hiking is one of the best forms of cardio. I can burn, because you're going up and down and all around, you got all these different challenges. You can burn almost twice as many calories per mile, and it's good for the soul. So just go hiking. Everybody needs to go hiking. Please. Zen 60. I started eating egg whites, not because whole eggs are bad, but because it's easier taking my protein. Yeah, there are a lot of good reasons to eat egg whites, and I was having this discussion with somebody this week. You can, it can be a food volume thing. You can mix in egg whites, get your protein in, add them to veggies and stuff like that. It's a good way to get your protein in, and it's a smart choice if you're getting in a lot of micronutrients and you just want to get in protein without, say doing something like whey protein powder, but absolutely not a bad choice. Andrew, one thing you wish you knew when you started training other people. One thing I wish I knew. I was talking to Robert Chinetsky last night about training people. And, after 33 years of not working with obesity coaching and then getting into it, there are some things you learn that you didn't know. Like, there is a wide variety of metabolisms. The cookie cutter crap you see on the internet, like start everybody at a certain calorie level and everybody's going to be about the same. It's complete nonsense. Complete nonsense. I've had guys that could lose weight at 3,800 calories. I am not kidding you. Not kidding you. I have guys, I have a power lifter right now that would probably lose weight at 3,000 calories. I have guys that couldn't lose weight to save their life at 1,600 or 1,800 calories. I have one gentleman I'm working with right now that eats like 1,300 calories a day. And I didn't tell him to do this, but we've been monitoring him. He gets fat when he goes up to 1,600 calories a day. Is something wrong with him hormonally? I don't specifically know all the ins and outs. But to answer your question, all the cookie cutter stuff, like where should I start my calories or where are my calories at, or the average man needs this many calories, it's nonsense in the real world because a human being has so many different variables. And you really need somebody that understands this to help you. When somebody gives out a cookie cutter program for bulking or cutting with X amount of calories, it's a disservice. It's a huge disservice to the average client they're working with because people don't work like that. All right. Thor for the win at the Arnold Classic. I don't know. I haven't been following that too closely. Sorry. With me doing the Special Olympics powerlifting, I've been out of the loop. Just 10 with her advice and program, but haven't tried it. Sorry, I think I missed that. Bob Hatcher, how much cardio per week? You want to do probably 3 sessions per week that get your heart rate up in some way, shape, or form. I hike and I do a lot of other stuff down here like jumping jacks and step ups, but hiking is a big thing. When we hike, we typically hike for 3 or 4 hours at a shot, though. But probably at least an hour with your heart rate elevated. Thanks for the information, you bet. Ben says hiking for the win, love it. Miguel, greetings from Venezuela. Great content. I enjoy all your videos. I think that's the first time I've had somebody chime in from Venezuela, and thank you, sir, for your support. Araya, do you know why whey isolate would give a person gas? I will say this. Typically, I don't think, and this is just my opinion, that it's the whey isolate. It could be something in the whey isolate. And the reason why I say this is because I've tried many whey proteins over the years, many different protein bars, and there are certain ingredients, and I was just talking with Robert Chinetsky about this yesterday, that drive gas. And they can just be hidden in that little jug of protein powder, and you might not think it a big deal, but I would say probably an 80% chance that it's an actual ingredient in the whey isolate and not the whey isolate itself. The only way to rule that out is to try a different brand. James says, thanks for the response, you bet. I'm about to hop off, guys. It's an hour. If you got one more question, pop it up. Just a reminder, if you need help coaching, first month is free. Head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman. Send me a DM. I'll give you the information. It's not that expensive. It's only $80 a month afterwards. And if you just have general questions that I missed during this video or you didn't catch the live video, post them up in my Instagram DM. I will answer the questions. And don't forget, I'm here 10 a.m. Eastern every Saturday morning. Let's see. Alpha Instructor, I have a lean bulk with 2,400 calories because I don't do as much as a programmer. That's definitely possible. I know some people that don't need to eat a lot to gain muscle. I can guess your weight at 240. Pretty close. Broken Bar says, and that coaching is worth it. Thank you, Broken Bars. I appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm going to be heading out. We're headed over to the Special Olympics. We're going to be coaching some very wonderful people and today, and I appreciate you guys following me. Come back every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and I'll be here. Appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel. Have a great weekend, and
Stay super sexy.
stay super sexy, people. A fate of the world.